She said, "I'm suing you for palimony. My lawyer says I'm entitled to your assets." After dating 11 months, I replied, "See you in court." Then I presented evidence she'd been married to someone else the entire time. When the judge threatened her with perjury charges, original post I, 45 male, am sitting in my home office, looking at a lawsuit that might be the most insane thing I've ever seen. My ex-girlfriend Veronica, 38, is suing me for palimony after 11 months of dating. 11 months. Let me back up, because this whole thing is wild. Met Veronica last year at a wine tasting event. She was charming, sophisticated, worked as a consultant, always vague about what kind. Said she helped businesses with restructuring. Red flag number one that I missed. Never met any of her work colleagues, never saw her office. She moved into my place after 4 months. Yeah, I know, too fast. But I'm 45, been divorced 8 years, thought I knew what I wanted. She seemed perfect, independent, mature, no drama. She even insisted on keeping her own apartment for tax purposes and paid me $800 a month toward expenses. Made me think she was financially responsible. The relationship was good, I thought. We traveled, had similar interests. She got along with my teenage kids, 16M and 14F, when they visited every other weekend. Then 3 weeks ago, she sits me down with this serious face. "Garrett, we need to talk about our future. Okay? I think it's time we formalize our relationship financially." "What do you mean? Like a joint account?" She laughed. "No, honey. I mean legally protecting my interests. I've given up opportunities for this relationship. My lawyer says I'm entitled to palimony." I almost spit out my coffee. "Your lawyer? Palimony? We're not even married. We've been dating less than a year." Common law marriage applies after 6 months of cohabitation in this state. No, it doesn't. This state doesn't even recognize common law marriage. Her face changed. Cold, calculating. "Well, my lawyer says I have a case. I've been your domestic partner. I've contributed to this household. I deserve half of what you've acquired during our relationship. Veronica, you paid $800 a month. That's less than half the mortgage, and you kept your own place. I'm entitled to more, Garrett. The house appreciation, your investment gains, your bonus from work. My lawyer calculated it at about $200,000. $200,000 for 11 months of dating. Are you seriously trying to extort me? It's not extortion. It's what I deserve. Sign this agreement or I'll see you in court." She slid over a document. 20 pages of legal nonsense demanding a lump sum of $200,000 plus $3,000 a month for 3 years. I stood up. "Get out." "Excuse me? Pack your stuff and get out of my house. Now. You can't kick me out. I live here. You're a guest who pays rent. No lease, no tenant rights beyond 30 days notice. But I want you out today, or I'm calling the police for trespassing." She grabbed the papers, stormed to the bedroom, threw her clothes in a suitcase while screaming about how I'd regret this, slammed the door so hard a picture fell off the wall. That was 3 weeks ago. Yesterday, I got served. She actually filed a palimony lawsuit. But here's the thing, I'm a software engineer, but my hobby is research. Deep research. And something about Veronica never quite added up. Time to dig. Update 1. Holy hell, the rabbit hole goes deep. Started with basic searches. Veronica claimed her last name was Reeves. Found a Veronica Reeves consultant on LinkedIn. Profile looked right, but something was off. The photo was her, but looked older. Profile hadn't been updated in 2 years. Reverse image searched her photos. Found another profile, Veronica Caldwell. Interior designer, different career entirely. Then I found Veronica Morrison, life coach, same woman, different name, different career. 3 identities, 3 different last names, what the hell. Paid for a background check. The real bombshell, Veronica Ann Morrison, married to Theodore Morrison since 2018, still married. Active address listed at an apartment complex 30 minutes away. She was married. The entire time we dated, she was married. But it gets worse. Court records showed she'd done this before. 2019, sued Derek Hoffman for breach of promise to marry. Case dismissed. 2020, sued Rajesh Patel for palimony, settled out of court for undisclosed sum. 2021, sued Christopher Banks for financial support based on domestic partnership. Case dismissed. She was a professional. This was her game. Called my lawyer immediately. Robert's a good guy. Handled my divorce. Straight shooter. Rob, You're not going to believe this. Explained everything. Sent him the documents. He was quiet for a minute. Garrett, this is fraud. If she's married and didn't disclose it, that's massive fraud. And if she's done this before, this could be criminal. What do I do? First, we respond to her lawsuit. Then we countersue. Then we contact the DA's office. This might be a pattern of behavior that crosses into criminal territory. What about her husband? That's your call. But if I were him, I'd want to know. Theodore Morrison. Some Googling found he was an accountant at a mid-size firm, had a LinkedIn, Facebook, normal social media presence. Photos from 5 years ago showed him happy smiling with Veronica in wedding photos. Recent photos? Solo. Looking tired. No ring in the last year's worth of pictures. I messaged him on LinkedIn. Hi Theodore, this is awkward but important. I recently dated someone named Veronica who I just discovered is your wife. We need to talk. He responded within an hour. Oh God, not again. Can we meet? Update 2. Met Theodore Ted at a coffee shop downtown. Guy looked defeated before I even said a word. So she got you too, he said, sitting down. 2? You're not the first. Not even the third. He pulled out a folder. I've been documenting everything for the divorce, but she keeps dodging the papers. The folder was insane. Screenshots, bank records, court documents. Veronica had been running this scam for years while married to him. She tells them she's single, moves in fast, creates some paper trail of contributions, then threatens legal action. Most guys settle quietly. She's made probably $400,000 over 4 years. Why haven't you divorced her? I've tried. She keeps claiming she'll take me for everything I have. Says she'll claim abuse, say I was controlling, that she was forced to find love elsewhere because of my cruelty. I've been paralyzed. But now with your evidence, maybe we can both be free. We compared notes. The $800 a month she paid me came from Ted's account. She was literally using her husband's money to pay me rent while setting up a Palimony scam. There's more, Ted said. That lawyer she mentions? It's always the same guy. Mitchell Vaughn. I think they're working together. Mitchell Vaughn. Searched him up right there. Sketchy website, lots of promises about alternative relationship compensation and non-traditional domestic arrangements. Reviews were mixed, some calling him brilliant, others calling him a scam artist. We need to work together on this, I said. Absolutely. I want this to end. We spent 3 hours strategizing. Ted had evidence of 6 different men she'd targeted. 2 had settled, 3 had cases dismissed, and now me. Then Ted showed me something that made my blood boil. Screenshots from Veronica's phone from when she'd left it unlocked of her texting Mitchell. Veronica, Garrett's perfect, house worth $800K, good portfolio, lonely divorcee, easy mark. Get the cohabitation documented. Save receipts for everything. We need 6 months minimum. Already got him to let me redecorate, keeping all receipts. He actually thinks I love him. I felt sick. The trips we took, the laughs we shared, meeting my kids, all of it was a con. But then I smiled. Because she'd made a massive mistake. She'd lied in her lawsuit filing, claimed she was single, claimed she'd given up her apartment for me, claimed financial dependence, all lies, all provable lies. Under oath. That's perjury, that's jail time. Update 3. My lawyer Robert was having a field day with the evidence. We filed our response to Veronica's lawsuit along with a countersuit for fraud, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and conversion for the money she'd taken under false pretenses. But the real kicker was the criminal complaint. The DA's office was very interested once they saw the pattern. This is organized fraud, the ADA, Jennifer Watts told us. If she and this lawyer are working together, that's conspiracy. That's RICO territory, potentially. Meanwhile, Veronica was escalating. She'd started a social media campaign painting me as an abusive partner who'd thrown a woman out on the street. Posted photos of us together with captions about powerful men who prey on vulnerable women. My kids saw it. My ex-wife called me furious. What the hell is going on, Garrett? This woman is saying you abused her? Had to explain everything. My ex was actually sympathetic for once. Jesus, Garrett, you sure can pick 'em. Need me to make a statement about what kind of father you are? Maybe. Thanks, Lisa. But Veronica wasn't done. She showed up at my work, made a scene in the lobby, crying about how I'd ruined her life, how she'd given up everything for me. Security removed her, but the damage was done. HR called me in. Garrett, we need to discuss this situation. Showed them everything. The marriage certificate, the previous lawsuits, the evidence of fraud. HR was horrified. We'll ban her from the premises immediately. This is clearly harassment. Then came the pre-trial hearing. This is where it all came crashing down for Veronica. Update 4. The courtroom was packed. Veronica showed up in a conservative suit, looking every bit the wronged woman. Mitchell Vaughn was with her, sleazy as expected, gold pinky ring, too much cologne, the works. Judge Patricia Hawkins presiding. Older woman, no-nonsense reputation. Veronica's side went first. Mitchell painted a sob story. Poor Veronica, taken advantage of by wealthy older man, promised a future, then discarded like trash. Veronica actually cried on cue. Then Robert stood up. Your Honor, before we proceed, there's a crucial matter of perjury we need to address. Mitchell objected immediately. That's inflammatory and prejudicial. Your Honor, Robert continued, the plaintiff has made statements under oath in her filing that are demonstrably false. May I present evidence? Judge nodded. First, plaintiff claims she's single. Here's her marriage certificate to Theodore Morrison, dated 2018, still valid. Veronica went pale. Mitchell started shuffling papers frantically. Second, plaintiff claims she gave up her apartment to move in with my client. Here's her current lease agreement, still active, paid for by her husband. Ted was in the gallery, waved when mentioned. Third, plaintiff claims financial dependence on my client. Here are bank records showing she has $200,000 in various accounts from previous similar lawsuits. Judge's expression was darkening. Your Honor, this gets worse. We have evidence of 5 previous similar lawsuits, a pattern of fraud, and conspiracy with counsel to perpetrate these frauds. Mitchell shot up. I demand a recess to discuss these allegations with my client. Judge Hawkins looked like she wanted to throw her gavel at him. Mr. Vaughn, your client has submitted false statements under oath. That's perjury, a felony. Miss Morrison, or should I say Mrs. Morrison, do you have anything to say? Veronica stood up, trying to maintain composure. Your Honor, I can explain. Are you currently married? It's complicated. Yes or no, Mrs. Morrison? Are you legally married? Yes, but... And did you state in your filing that you were single? I considered myself emotionally single. Yes or no? Yes. Judge turned to the bailiff. Please contact the DA's office. We have probable cause for perjury charges. Veronica turned on Mitchell. This is your fault. You said this would work. Mitchell was backing away. I advised based on information you provided. You knew I was married. You helped me with the other cases. The judge's eyes lit up. Other cases. Mr. Vaughn, how many times have you and Mrs. Morrison appeared in court together? Mitchell was sweating. I invoke my Fifth Amendment right. You're not under criminal investigation yet. Answer the question. 4 times, Your Honor. The courtroom exploded in murmurs. Judge banged her gavel. This case is dismissed with prejudice. Mrs. Morrison, you're hereby ordered to pay all of defendant's legal fees. Mr. Vaughn, I'm referring you to the State Bar for investigation, and both of you better hope the DA goes easy on you, though I doubt they will. But the best part was yet to come. Update 5. Out the courtroom, Veronica completely lost it. Started screaming at Ted about how this was his fault, how he was supposed to stay quiet, how he'd ruined everything. Ted, for his part, just served her the divorce papers right there. Been trying to give you these for 2 years, honey. Now you can't run. She tried to tear them up. I'll take everything you have. With what money? Your accounts are about to be frozen for the criminal investigation. That's when Mitchell abandoned ship completely, started walking away fast. Veronica chased after him, screaming about how he'd promised this would work, how they were partners. Everyone was recording. It went viral locally within hours. Gold digger meltdown at courthouse. The DA's office moved fast. Both Veronica and Mitchell were arrested 2 days later. Charges included conspiracy to commit fraud, multiple counts of fraud, perjury, filing false legal documents, extortion. Local news picked it up. Serial scammer and lawyer arrested in Palimony fraud scheme. They interviewed some of her previous victims. Derek Hoffman, the first guy, looked relieved. I always knew something was off, but she made me think I was crazy. I'm just glad it's over. Rajesh Patel, who'd settled, was pissed. She took me for $50,000. I want every penny back with interest. Then came the civil suits. Every guy she'd scammed was lawyering up. Ted was finally filing for divorce. I was suing for my legal fees plus damages. But the most satisfying moment came last week. I was at the grocery store when I ran into Veronica. She was out on bail, looking haggard. "Garrett, please, can we talk?" "No. I'm sorry. It started as something small and got out of control. I actually did care about you. Veronica, you texted your lawyer calling me an easy mark. You used me. You used my kindness, met my kids under false pretenses, and tried to extort me. We have nothing to talk about. I'm gonna lose everything." "Good. You don't understand. Mitchell manipulated me. I was vulnerable. My marriage was falling apart. Your marriage fell apart because you were running romance scams. Take responsibility for once." She started crying. Not the fake tears from court, real, ugly crying. "I'm going to jail. Probably. My life is ruined. You ruined it yourself. You had a decent husband, could have had a normal life, but you chose greed." I walked away. She called after me, but I didn't turn around. Final update. It's been 6 months since this all went down. Time for the final update on this insane journey. The criminal trial was last month. Veronica pleaded guilty to reduced charges, 2 counts of fraud, 1 count of perjury. Sentenced to 18 months in minimum security, 3 years probation after, and ordered to pay $300,000 in restitution to her victims. Mitchell Vaughn got it worse. The investigation revealed he'd been running this scheme with multiple women, not just Veronica. Lost his law license, got 3 years in prison, and owes nearly $1 million in restitution. Ted's divorce went through. Veronica got nothing. The prenup she'd insisted on to protect her assets ended up protecting Ted's instead. Ironic. He's doing better, started dating someone nice, someone who actually exists as the person she claims to be. The other victims all got some measure of justice. Rajesh got his $50,000 back from Veronica's seized accounts. Derek got closure. Christopher Banks, one of the dismissed cases, turned out to be a federal investigator who'd been building a case. He was instrumental in the criminal prosecution. As for me, the whole experience was exhausting but educational. I'm $15,000 richer. Veronica had to pay my legal fees plus damages. But more importantly, I'm wiser. My kids were surprisingly supportive through everything. My son said, "Dad, at least you found out before she became our stepmom." My daughter added, "Next time maybe Google them first." Fair point, Tito. I've started dating again, very cautiously. Running background checks isn't paranoid, it's prudent. Met someone nice last month, an actual pediatrician with verifiable employment and 0 secret spouses. We're taking it slow. Got a letter from Veronica last week from prison. Didn't open it. Ted texted saying he got one too. Neither of us read them. Some chapters need to stay closed. The local news did a follow-up story. Romance Scammers' Web of Lies, a year later. They interviewed some expert about con artists and personality disorders. Apparently, people like Veronica often believe their own lies, think they're entitled to what they're stealing. It's a form of narcissistic personality disorder mixed with antisocial behavior. Looking back, the red flags were there. Love bombing early on, vague about her work, kept her apartment, escape route, never met her friends or colleagues, stories that didn't quite add up, pushed for quick relationship milestones. But the biggest lesson? Trust your gut. When she first mentioned Palimony, something felt wrong. I should have investigated then, not after. To anyone reading this, if someone you're dating starts talking about lawyers and entitlements after less than a year, run. If they claim common law marriage in a state that doesn't recognize it, run. If they have a lawyer on speed dial for relationship issues, run. And always, always, verify who you're dating. A simple background check would have saved me months of drama. Thanks for following this wild ride, Reddit. Stay smart, stay safe, and for the love of all that's holy, Google your dates. Peace out.